Why don't Ivy League schools accept more students? This is a question that I've wondered a lot, and I finally, after many years as a college admissions consultant, realized one fact: that attending an Ivy League was really never about the education as much as the prestige and brand name of the school. And as superficial as this may sound, I will state that that's exactly how the Ivy Leagues maintain their value. In fact, if you really think about it, the Ivy League schools only offer 1,600 spots to qualified applicants in the country. When there's only 1,600 spots, in theory, if you really think about it, this increases the exclusivity of these schools, especially when there are well over 3 million high school students in the country. So why can't these Ivy League schools offer education to everyone? That's definitely a question I've wondered. I do believe that education should be equitable, should be accessible to improve the education of our youth. And so why is it that each Ivy League or each of these top schools limit their spots of enrollment? Certainly, one can argue that resources can be an issue, but at the same time, these schools are extremely well endowed. And while I'm certainly not saying that they should open up the spots to everyone in the country, I mean, if they even open the spots to the top 1% of high school students in the country, that's still 30,000 students. That's a lot of students, no doubt, but they would actually, earn tuition from these students who would be more than happy to attend. Why do these schools limit the number of students for enrollment? The biggest thing is definitely exclusivity. When you are exclusive, you increase the value of your brand. It's almost like buying a luxury car or a luxury item, whether it's like Gucci or LV or Mercedes or BMW or a Porsche. That's exactly what you're getting with an Ivy League. You get that brand name that opens up career opportunities. And so when you are the Louis Vuitton, for example, of higher education, you really don't want to lose that level of exclusivity. Right? When you see a long line outside the door of students trying to get into these schools, or a long line outside of a door at a luxury brand goods store, do you think that if there wasn't that line, that people would pay attention, right? The reason people pay attention is that there's that level of exclusivity, right? It's like trying to get into a Studio 8 nightclub. That's exactly what Peter Thiel, the Stanford graduate and famous venture capitalist, said, right? Getting into these schools is like getting into a Studio 8 nightclub. Once you get in, you realize it's really not that mind-blowing, but when you're outside of the door and you're waiting in line, it makes it a substance of higher demand, right? It piques your demand because it piques your curiosity, there's this element of mystery behind it, and that's why it increases your public perception and therefore your global brand value. So I know it seems really superficial, but that's ultimately what people are buying with an Ivy League degree. And that's also why these institutions, I do not think they will open up more spots to students. Maybe, they might open up more dorm rooms in the coming years as our population continues to grow. But that number is usually much higher, but still extremely selective. And the reason it's higher is because there's many different programs, right? There's the Harvard Graduate School of Design, of Education, of Medicine, of Law, right? And so when you add up all these different departments, then you get more students. But for the undergrad level, it's going to be extremely selective. And that's why my goal is to definitely help our students. That's really our mission, to help high achieving high school students get into the Ivy League, to really get the degree that they deserve for putting all of their hard work throughout their high school journey. So if you liked what we had to talk about today, definitely give us a like button and hit that subscribe button. we'll be sharing more free tips, advice, and perspectives on the college admissions process.